What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from SRL. That is the Sandro Racing League, and while there are many SRL leagues, there's only one Sandro Racing League. Season 6, Round 13 here at Spa-Francorchamps, and we are coming off of another exciting round. If you didn't tune into the last one at Round 12 at Hungary, it was one for the ages, an amazing battle throughout the whole course of the race. Dennis Karenci is one of 3 drivers able to pick up a pole position this year. I believe it was 3, might be 4. I think Luke Smith had a pole position earlier in the year, but nonetheless, Dennis Karenci's with his first pole position of the season. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to hang on to that, and Jensen Randall was able to come home with his 5th win of the season, extend his championship points lead over Andrea Latrella, who came second once again. Dennis Karenci does finish 3rd for his 2nd podium finish of the year. Nick Van Gelder with his best finish of the season so far, finally getting back to his old form, coming home 4th. Rennie Vanderstapp starting to look like his old self, coming home in 5th. Dion Stahl had a great run to 6th. Luke Smith was 7th. Cameron Weston-Edwards drops to 8th. Newcomer Victor Larson finishes 9th in his SRL debut, and Jo Marusic comes home 10th. That rounds out your top 10 points paying positions. Foons Van Houten would finish a lap down in 11th. Colin Higgins was 12th. And Louis Quinlan, unfortunately, with his 4th DNF of the season, he was really fast at Hungary. Had a great run going, got called out in an incident in the late going on lap 32, and then ended up getting T-boned by Luke Smith, causing him to end his race. And Max Mulder with his first DNF of the season since joining SRL. And as the point standings go, Jensen Randall extends his points lead. He's now 245 points to his credit. Andrea Latrella, the second closest driver behind him, still in championship contention, 194, but it is slowly and surely slipping away. Luke Smith is 3rd in points with 102. Cameron Weston-Edwards with 98. Liam Hill with 81. Sandro Dulius 75. Rennie and Dennis tied for points at 66. Reese March with 50 to his credit. And Tim Ventic rounds out your top 10 points positions in the standings. Tim Ventic made it known yesterday that he is no longer going to be racing in SRL for the remainder of the season, so no title defender for him. Let's run down today's driver lineup. Sandro Dulius in the Ferrari. Colin Higgins is going to be in the Factory Renault. Dennis Karenci's in the Racing Point. Jensen Randall, your points leader in the AMG Patronus. Robin Herterstagen back in the fold after his 2-race suspension for ignoring blue flags and multiple other incidences, but he's back in the fold today. Louis Quinlan going to be in the other Alfa Romeo. Reese March, I believe, is still going to be the lone Haas. I'll have to verify that here in a minute. Dion Stahl's in the Ferrari. Rennie Vanderstapp in the McLaren. Jo Marusic is going to be in the Red Bull. And it looks like Cameron Weston-Edwards won't be racing today. Luke Smith is in the McLaren. And we're waiting for Andrea Latrella and PTRL Naz in the other Mercedes. That is our good buddy and former racer Jorge Korea. He is back in action here at SRL. Ivan Brito also announced that he won't be coming back for the remainder of the season as well. But we've got Jorge Korea bringing along his fans in the stands, I'm sure, from the Portuguese Racing League that he started. And good to have Jorge back in action. Crowd favorite, one of my personal favorite drivers. Good guy to talk to and hang out with. And right now, it's going to round out 12 drivers for today's race. We're still waiting for a couple of other drivers to join. And shout out to Jensen Randall. It was essentially 1 year ago today that he made his SRL debut at Spa for SRL. And here we are 1 year later, and he is the championship points leader with a substantial lead. Heading into today's race, we've got Foons Van Houten on the live chat saying good luck to everybody. He was unable to make the race today. He does have a qualifying ban for the next race that he attends for lack of a better term, ignoring blue flags. So we shall hopefully see him again back on track next week. And Victor Larson was also given a formal warning. There was an incident last week where the lobby broke after qualifying. And as the rules state in the rule book, you do need to start on the tires of which you qualified with. Victor Larson did not do that. However, it was his SRL debut. That rule, we don't believe, was conveyed to him in a correct manner, so we gave him a little bit of a grace. Usually it's an automatic qualifying ban and a disqualification. Actually, I don't think it's a qualifying ban. I think it's an automatic disqualification. Either way, we're going to give him some grace since he was new to the league. If he does it again today, if there happens to be an incident, then penalty will be incurred. But he does have a formal warning from the stewards because of that. We've also got Sandro Julius on the live chat saying he loves Spa. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Spa? It is a crowd favorite in real life. It's a driver favorite in real life. I mean, even in the game, I got done doing a time trial myself just to see how good I could do around the track. I don't play this game very often, so I could only muster a 146.6. I'm not even sure if that's a good time or not, but it's a fun track to drive, very high speed, full throttle for the majority of the track. I think this and Monza are the top two tracks in which you are full throttle the majority of the time. Well over 60-70% of the lap is taken at full throttle. And the slowest corner on the track is the bus stop chicane, which is at the very end of the lap. So basically the chicane and then turn one would be your two slowest points. So after turn one, you're basically full throttle the majority of the way until you get to the very last turn. We've got Sam Brandt on the live chat as well. Jorge Korea saying he's hyped for his comeback race, and so are we. Hopefully he brings some fans with him as well. And, yeah, I mean, a proper F1 track through the rolling hills of Belgium. There is some runoff area in some spots, but it is a track that can cost you dearly, as we have seen over years past. Unfortunately, was it Antoine Hubert lost his life in the F2 incident some time ago. Pietro Fittipaldi broke his legs a couple years back at a sports car race, crashing at Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Kevin Magnussen had his big crash when he was with Renault at the top of Raidillon, so this track can be quite precarious to try and deal with, and it looks like we're getting ready to kick things off here. We're going to do an 18-minute short qualifying session followed by a 50% race. And it looks like we've got 14 drivers for today's race. We had 14 drivers last time out at Hungary. Short on car count did not mean short on action. Hungary was, I'm not a fan of Hungary in real life. It's not that great of a track. I don't like driving on it. But the racing last time out at Hungary for SRL at Hungary was absolutely stellar through and through. Battles throughout the whole portion of the race. Really no breathing room for anybody. Dennis Carenchis fought hard. Louis Quinlan fought hard. Jonathan Randall managed to make his way through the traffic. Unfortunately, Quinlan got caught out in that safety car at the end, but well, he was a safety car at the end. Looks like we did have Nick Van Gelder join here. Nick's biggest claim to fame is 2 seasons ago, where he basically drifted his Formula One car around the whole track in the rain. Being our resident Ken Block, we've talked a lot about Nick in the past, about how aggressive he is with his setups and throttle inputs. He likes a loose handling race car, but it's very tough on the rear tires, and he likes hanging that back end out. I think he's in the wrong type of motorsport, but he is your season 4 champion, so it must be working for him some way. So sunny skies here for qualifying. Get some lap data up, the track map. There it is, the old pistol track map. And great to have Jorge back, and it looks like we've got a dry race and dry qualifying expected. That's good time. Rains a lot at Spa, but man, it's to have a track like this where you have to slow down in the rain, that's no fun. This is a full throttle, balls to the wall track. And looks like Brian Power has joined. Good to have him with us as well. And it looks like Jensen Randall's going to be the first one out on the outlap. Jensen with 11 podiums so far this season, 5 wins. Walking away with the championship as of right now. 5 pole positions to his credit. And again, 1 year ago, made his SRL debut here at the AMG Petronas Mercedes, along with Tim Ventic. Tim Ventic, obviously the defending champion, and Tim is not going to be participating anymore this year. So could be back-to-back Constructors Championships for Mercedes, as they do lead the way in the Constructors Championship, 362 points to their credit. AlphaTauri is second, way behind. That's mostly just Most of those points, I think, are just Andrea Latrella alone. I can't remember what it was. I think AlphaTauri has 206 points to their credit. Andrea Latrella is 194 of those points. So Jenson Randall, the first one on the out lap. And Dennis Karenci's great momentum coming into this weekend. He had a pole position last time out of Hungary, finished third. So we'll see if Dennis can carry that momentum into today's race. And Luke Smith doing what Luke Smith does. He's not going to participate in the qualifying. He'll run the alternate tire strategy start at the tail end of the field as he's done every single week. We'll pick up Jenson Randall. Looks like he's the first one to start a flying lap. So he heads down to the turn one hairpin, and then it's full throttle from here. It looks like we've already got somebody off at Radion. That might be Luke Smith's car. Right along with Jenson Randall. Jenson Randall through Eau Rouge, top of Radion, down to Kimmel Straight, I should say. Hard right-hander. Now, unlike Hungary, you can use a lot of the curbing here at Spa. And we see Jenson doing that right now. And then you're flat out coming out of that corner. He's got a really good lap time going right now. Down into the bus stop chicane. And Jenson is going to come out of there with a 141.431. That is fast, I'm not going to lie. We'll pick up Dennis Karenci's. He's coming down to the bus stop chicane now. And he is a 142.1. He is a second off of Jenson Randall's time. Well, 0.7 of a second. Reese March coming across the line, 142.8. Randy Vanderstappen with a 142.9. Louis Quinlan clearly had an incident at some point. He's 201. He'll try again. Yeah, 141. I ran a 146.6 in my practice, and I thought that was fast. I mean, I didn't think it was like super fast, but it felt like a pretty good lap, but clearly I'm not good enough to race here. Right along with Louis Quinlan. And looks like he is going to abort this lap, actually. So we'll pick up Robin Hertestegen. Coming off of his 2-race ban. And we've got Andrea Latrella on an out lap. We'll pick him up next. We'll ride along with Hertestegen and see what he can do here. Looks like he was a little slow through Sector 2 there. Yellow flags flying. Whoa, and that is Reese March getting out of the way. Verstegen back on throttle, going to come across the line. 1:44.538. And we'll pick up Andre Lechella, second in points. And he's out on the medium tires. Now, Jensen Randall set his time on the soft, so maybe Andre Lechella might be trying to put in a banker lap, get a time on the board. Maybe trying to run an alternate tire strategy, see if he can find a way to get some sort of advantage over Jensen Randall. He's mathematically still in contention for the championship. We're only at round 13, so we've got plenty of races to go. Just over halfway through this season. Looks like he's trying to put some heat in those medium tires. We'll hop on board with Latrella, see what he can make happen. And then it's power down as we head downhill to Eau Rouge. Radion, and then down the Kemmel Straight, full throttle this whole time. It looks like he's got quite a bit of traffic up in front of him. One car off to the side getting out of the way. He's got more cars in front of him. Big lockup on the right front. You know, for as big as this track is, that is the most traffic I've seen on a qualifying lap for anybody this season. So props to the driver staying out of the way as Andrea runs a little wide through there. A little too much curb there. That cost him a little bit of time. Oh, and he's invalidated his lap time, unfortunately. That did not go well through those right and left sweeping corners there. So, and we didn't see it, but shout out to Jorge Korea on his comeback. 1:43 flat. Good enough for 7th quickest so far. And Nick Van Gelder, 1:42.7. Good enough for 4th quickest. So, Nick, I know this is one of Nick's favorite tracks. It's one that he does relatively well. That's a shout out to him on that one. We'll pick up Sandro Dulius. Sandro looks like he's on it. He's got a lap car in front of him. Whoa, that's Van Gelder getting out of the way. Power down for Sandro. 1:42.4. Good enough for 3rd quickest so far. Right behind Dennis Carenchis and Jensen Randall. Randall, the only driver still to crack into the 1:41s. Again, 0.7 of a second ahead of Dennis Carenchis' time. And Andrea Latrella has gone back into the pits. In fact, we'll pick up Dennis Carenchis. Big slide coming out of there for Carenchis as we ride along with him now. And Carenchis has gone personal best in Sector 2, so he's doing a little better. Jensen Randall with a 1:41.134 just to put a knuckle in the back of every other driver today, trying to see if they can snatch pole from him, but that's going to be hard now. He's almost into the 140s, which is an unbelievable time. Carenchis coming out of the last corner, and he is 1:41.673. Dennis giving it his all. He closes the gap. It's now half a second to Jensen Randall. Good qualifying effort by Carenchis, riding on that high. Louis Quinlan's gone 1:42.1. He is now 3rd quickest as he jumps in front of Sandro Dulius. Dion Stahl with a great qualifying effort as well. And Max Mulder has retired from the session. I don't know if that was on purpose or if he's had an incident. Looks like there is a yellow flag in the Sector 2 area. That could be him as Dion Stahl dives into the pits. We'll pick up Rennie van der Stapp. He's currently on a flyer, it looks like. And he is not quite on a flyer as he is off throttle. And we'll pick up Jorge Korea. There he is. From PTRL, the Portuguese Racing League that he started a couple seasons ago. And it blew up in Portugal. Good on him. We've had quite a few drivers from there. Him, Ivan Brito, a couple of others have come and gone. So he's on invalidated lap time right now. Don't think anybody's quite on a flyer. We'll pick up Nick Van Gelder. Van Gelder was fourth quickest a couple of laps ago with a 1:42.7. Times are starting to drop with 5 minutes to play here in the session. Van Gelder is now going down to seventh quickest, so he's on an out lap. And so one thing that sucks about this track, it's a lot of fun to drive, but it's such a long out lap. But you really got to watch how you want to set up the fuel load for qualifying. Some guys are going to give it a 2-lap go, 1 out lap, 1 hot lap, coast back in. Every pound or kilogram counts in the weight savings department. Got Reese March is currently on an out lap. He's a 1:42.871, a 1/10 of a second behind here. Nick Van Gelder as Van Gelder comes down to the bus stop chicane. So we'll hop on board with Nick, see what he can't make happen here in the on a hot lap, see if he can improve his time, his position. Good through Eau Rouge and Radion. Down the Kemmel Straight. Big lock up on the right front. A lot of curb there too. Whoa, and a snap oversteer. Again, a lot of curbing. And again, another lot of usage of the curb. And then power down. And Van Gelder is dropped to 8th quickest. Andrea Latrella went 1:41.380. We didn't get to see that, unfortunately. He did finally come back out and set a time. Riding along with Van Gelder. Big lock up on that right front again. And he's going to fool everybody and dive into the pits, you bastard. Wasted my time. I'll pick up Reese March, who is 44 thousandths of a second over his previous time, but he is an invalidated lap time, so it doesn't matter. Got a lot of guys on out laps. Andrea Latrella looks like he's on an invalidated time as well, so nobody currently on a timed lap. A lot of guys on out laps. Time starting to wind down, reaching the 2-minute warning. Jensen Randall currently out on an out lap, and he is going to start another hot lap. So 1:41.134 is provisional pole time set by this guy right here, Jensen Randall, the championship points leader. Looking to improve his time, put a nail in the coffin. And Reese March has retired from the session. I'm willing to bet that was not by design. big swing in, almost lost the back end, it looked like. And Jensen Randall is pushing hard. Time is almost up. We still got a couple of drivers, quite a few drivers actually out on out laps. Let's see if they can cross that start-finish line. Now, Jensen Randall's going to come across the line. He's going to have enough time to do another hot lap if he wants to. 1:46.69. Unbelievable time set by Jensen Randall. That is the nail in the coffin. That is your provisional pole time. Out of control. I don't think I've ever seen a 140 on this lap. Or on this track, I should say. And Dennis Carenci is all over the back of a McLaren. I don't know if that's by design. Getting a slipstream off of the car in front. But, oh, and Dennis Carenci loses the back end. Oh. And Carenci's is done. And Jorge Korea is also done. Now, I believe that was Rennie Vanderstapp who he was following. I don't know if he was trying to use Rennie as to get some slipstream. He had gone purple in Sector 1 at the top of the Kemmel Straight. Andrea Latrella's time is locked in as well, so the heavy hitters are all done. Dennis Carenci's, Andrea Latrella done. Provisional pole for Jensen Randall. Does anybody have anything for him? Louis Quinlan, fourth quickest. He's in the pits. He's done for the day. We're watching Rennie Vanderstapp. We'll pick up Sandro Dolia, see where he's at. Don't know that Sandro will have anything for him. Sandro's on an invalidated lap time, so he's no good. Nick Van Gelder, where's he at? He's coming. Whoa, and a big slide by Van Gelder as we pick him up. And here comes Vanderstapp out of the final corner. He's 3 seconds quicker on his previous time. 1:42.370, good enough for sixth quickest. Pick up Van Gelder. And he's got a slower car in front of him. Looks like that might actually be Jensen Randall. And Van Gelder throwing this car around like there's no tomorrow. Van Gelder's going to come across the line. 1:42.927. Couldn't quite get it done there at the end. And man, oh man, an unbelievable lap time by Jensen Randall as he dives into the pits to end this session. 140. I don't think I've seen a 140 in a league race, at least not here at SRL. So Jensen Randall with his sixth pole position of the season. Once again, Andrea Latrella finds himself sitting behind Jensen Randall in second. Dennis Carenci's in third. Louis Quinlan will be starting fourth. Dion Stahl with a great effort there at the end, starting fifth. Rennie Vanderstapp is sixth. Sandro Dulius is seventh. Nick Van Gelder will be eighth. Reese March is ninth. Jur Marusic 10th. Jorge Korea on his comeback is 11th. Colin Higgins is 12th. Robin Herderstegen 13th. Max Mulder is 14th. And Luke Smith will be starting at the tail end of the field as he does. And that will round out your 15 drivers for today's race. Round 13 here at Spa-Francorchamps getting ready to come up. We've just got done doing the 18-minute short qualifying session. We will follow that up here with the 50% race. Weather is expected to be dry and sunny. We'll run down to the running order one more time as we do the formation lap. And actually, I correct myself. That is Jensen Randall's sixth pole position of the season. As we wait for the game to reset. And Sam Brandt making light of the situation with Jensen Randall's 6th pole position of the season. So Jensen Randall starting out in front. He's got 11 podiums this year, 5 wins, and now a 6th pole position to his credit. He is your championship points leader and the favorite for today's race. Starting out in front once again, Andrea Latrella, 2nd in points. Andrea's got 7 podiums to his credit this year. He's going to try and add another one to that today, but he would love to pick up a win and try and close down that points gap to Jensen Randall. Dennis Karenci's coming off of a great race last time out, picked up his 1st pole position of the season at Hungary, finished 3rd with a 2nd podium of the season. He's starting in 3rd today. He's looking to put another podium under his belt. And Louis Quinlan looking to make up for last week's race. He ran up front for some of the time, but unfortunately got caught out in a wreck late in the going. He'll be looking to try and work his way around a couple of cars, put a podium finish under his belt today. And Dion Stahl with one of his best qualifying efforts of the season, starting in 5th. He quietly snuck in there. See if maybe he can work his way towards the front, maybe sneak a podium out of there. And Rennie Vanderstappen finally starting to get back to his old form. Had a great run last week where he finished 5th. He'll be starting in 6th place today, putting some points on the board for McLaren. And Sandro Dooley, it's not the best qualifying effort that he's had, but he does usually run well here at this track. It's one of his favorites. We'll see if he can work his way through the field, get some points on the board for Ferrari. Same with Nick Van Gelder. His best finish of the season came last time out of Hungary where he finished 4th. He'll be starting 8th today. He'll be trying to work his way through the field, see if he can capitalize on that great finish last time out. And then we've got Reese March, the lone Haasman, all by his lonesome once again, starting in 9th. And it was about 2 years ago that Reese March made his debut at SRL, so shout out to him for sticking with us for this long. Jure Marusic will be starting in 10th. He finished 10th last time out at Hungary. We're looking to put some points on the board again today. And then we've got Jorge Korea making his SRL comeback. Good to have him with us. He's got a few podiums to his credit in his SRL history. Be looking to see if he can work his way through the field, put some points on the board. And we've got Colin Higgins starting in 12th. Robin Hertestegen making his way back after his 2-race ban. See if what he can do. Max Mulder will be 14th. And, of course, Luke Smith starting in 15th. That is your 15 drivers for today's race. And Nick Van Gelder telling us that he ran out of fuel on his final qualifying lap. So that does explain the missed effort there. Waiting on the 5 red lights. Lights out, time to run what you brung. They're away in a puff of smoke, and it's a good start for Jensen Randall. And here comes Louis Quinlan, and Dennis Karenci to the end. Oh, and Quinlan gets hit from behind. Where is Quinlan? Oh man, Quinlan drops all the way to 10. That is not what he wanted. And we got a 3-car battle for the lead of this race already. Here comes Karenci's and Latrella. Jensen Randall trying to block 2 cars. And Colin Higgins has joined. I didn't realize Colin left. Colin has had some internet issues in the past. And it looks like he's having some again today. Dion Stahl and Sandro Dooley is running 4th and 5th. And we see Louis Quinlan making his way around. Jure Marusic, he's to the inside. Got tapped from behind heading into turn 1. Managed to gather it back up. Avoid calamity. And we've got Robin Hertestegen making a move in the back. He's moving up into 13th over Max Mulder and Colin Higgins. Rennie Vanderstappen loses his spot. He loses another spot. He's going wide. And Rennie just lost a huge chunk of positions. And look at this to the inside. That's Jorge Korea trying to get to the inside. Oh no, and Rennie has got wing damage now. Jorge had a run going into that corner. Rennie was a little aggressive on the inside. I don't think he knew Jorge was there. Meanwhile, here comes Luke Smith. And Luke Smith's going to make the move on Rennie and follow Jorge Korea. Korea finally works his way into the points. We've got Sandro Dooley getting around his teammate Dion Stahl for the 4th spot. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall has pulled out to a 0.6 of a second lead over Andrea Latrella. And we've got somebody wanting tire information, and the only driver on the alternate strategy is Jorge Korea. They've got Rennie Vanderstapp has dived into the pits. We know he had wing damage. He's going to swap over to the hard tires as we continue to watch. It looks like timing and scoring's all screwed up, so we're watching Andrea Latrella trying to close in that gap to Jensen Randall. So Rennie is out on the hard tires. Looks like Luke Smith and Max Mulder both had to pit, so now we've got Luke, Max Mulder. Where is Rennie? Rennie is all the way, okay, so timing and scoring screwed up, so Rennie is at the top of the charts, but he's not actually. He's on hard tires as well. Meanwhile, Jorge Korea is the only driver that started on a different set of tires from the softs. He started on the mediums, and he immediately picked up a 3-second time penalty. And Andrea is still trying to stick with him. Meanwhile, Dennis Carenchis is solidly in third. Sandro Dewey is solidly in fourth. In fact, after that opening lap, all the cars have gotten separated by quite a lot of time. There we go. That's what we needed. Needed the interval to the leader. There we go. So they're not as separated as I thought. We're now lap 3. DRS is going to be enabled. And it looks like Jorge Korea is diving into the pits as well. What's going on with Jorge? Oh, looks like he's had some wing damage as well. He's going to swap over to the hard tires, put a new front wing on it, and get back out and going as well. Meanwhile, we've got Reese March is all over the back of Jurgen Marusic. This is a battle for 7th spot. We've got Nick Van Gelder, a part of that as well. So Reese finds himself the meat in the middle of a Haas sandwich. I should say in the middle of a Red Bull sandwich. He is the Haas meat in the middle of the Red Bull sandwich. There we go. And Nick. And these guys are losing a little bit of ground. Oh, Nick with a good run coming out of that corner. Looks like he thought about it for a second. Thought better of it. Reese runs a little wide coming out of there. And Nick's got the slipstream, and Reese is going to give way, come across. They're side by side. Now Nick's going to have the more preferred line as they head into the bus stop chicane. Gets a good run coming out of there. Reese lets him go. And Nick with the pass, that is good for 8th. And now a big lock up there by Nick. Nick will set his sights on his teammate Jurgen Marusic. Meanwhile, Dion Stahl is still hanging tough in the 5th spot with his teammate. And Jorge Korea picks up another 3-second time penalty. He is the only driver to have any time penalties assessed in game so far. Meanwhile, Andrea Latrella is actually gaining a little bit of time here on Jensen Randall. He's got the DRS advantage going down the Kemmel Straight. And these two have pulled out to a 4.5 plus second gap over 3rd place. And look at this, Dion Stahl fighting with his teammate. Dion gets around Sandro Dulius for the 4th spot. Good on Dion. Now these guys have been teammates. This is the longest tenured teammate combo in SRL history. They've been teammates and they have been in Ferrari since season 1. They're very good friends off track. Generally speaking, there's not really a whole lot of team orders between these guys. They race each other pretty cleanly. So Dion making the pass on Sandro and actually setting his sights on Dennis Carenchis, and now Reese March picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Andrea Latrella has lost a little bit of time through Sector 2, still trying to hang tough with Jensen Randall. And these guys are now out to a 5-second gap over the 3rd place car of Dennis Carenchis. Meanwhile, Reese March is still trying to find a way around Jorge Korea. This is for the 8th spot now. Looks like he's got a good run. Is he going to try and make a move down to the bus stop chicane? Ure takes the defensive line, makes Reese go to the outside, and Reese, what a move by Reese March! Power move on the outside, going into the bus stop chicane, outbreak Jorge Korea. Great move by Reese March. That was fantastic. Great move by Reese. Meanwhile, back at the front, Jensen Randall still trying to hold off Andrea Latrella. Andrea able to make up a little bit of time through the DRS range. And right now, it's a little bit of a yo-yo back and forth. Andrea is able to catch up if he can stay within that DRS range, but he loses about half a second in Sector 2 to Jensen Randall. And here we go, Jorge Korea trying to come back. It looks like Ure takes it back down the Kemmel Straight. Probably with the help of the DRS. Reese March still trying to hang tough, looks to the inside. That's a shame that he lost that spot. He put in such a good pass to get that spot, and DRS helps Ure take it back. Meanwhile, it's a rough day for McLaren. Luke Smith and Rennie Vanderstapp running 14th and 15th. Oh, and Andrea Latrella picks up a 3-second time penalty, trying to stick with Jensen Randall, and he's just outside of the DRS range. And Andrea is slowly but surely going to fall out of the... Well, he's back in there right now. Uh-oh, and Sandro Dooley is fighting it out with Louis Quinlan. They're side by side. Louis snuck up on this battle. Wasn't even aware Louis was making up time on the two Ferraris, but here we go. Crossover move by Quinlan trying to get that power down. And Quinlan is going to have the DRS advantage as they head down the hill to Eau Rouge. A little bit of a twitch there, coming over the top of Radion, down to Kemmel Straight. Now he's going to have the DRS advantage. Sanders got the DRS as well, since he's still within striking distance of his teammate Dion Stahl. And 3 Ferrari-powered cars in a row. Louis trying to make up for that DNF that he had at Hungary. He loses a little bit of time there through the and the Camel through the S's. You see him trying to play with the controls on the steering wheel, adjust the fuel flow. Maybe adjust the ERS as well. Lost a huge chunk of time there to Sandro Dulius at the end of the straightaway, so. Meanwhile, Latrella still within a second of Jensen Randall. And Jorge Korea still, looks like Reese March has gotten back around Jorge Korea. You're trying to hang tough with them. Now Yours going to have the slipstream advantage going down through the Sector 3 area and into the bus stop chicane. Can he make up some ground here? Possibly put a move in. Reese dumping those right side tires into the grass a little bit. Here comes Jorge. Reese is going to take that inside line, and you're not quite close enough to make a move. You see the black streaks all over the frickin' tarmac there. The lockup heading into that bus stop chicane. Yor with a little bit of a wiggle, couldn't get the power down, coming out of the hairpin there. And you see Reese pulls away a little bit. Looks like Reese might have had a little bit of a moment coming out of Eau Rouge. And now the DRS slot open for the Red Bull. Jorge Korea trying to make up that ground. He's not going to be close enough to make a move at the end of the straightaway. And Reese hangs on for another day. Meanwhile, Sandro all over the back of his teammate, Dion Stahl. Louis Quinlan trying to sneak back into this battle. He's just under a second to these two Ferraris. So in the next few laps, the pit window will open for these guys that are on the soft tires. I'm sure there's some discussion going on between the two Ferraris and who is going to pit when. And I can't be 100% sure, but I think they've got a bit of an unwritten rule that the driver in front is the one that gets to... I don't know if he's the one that either gets to pit first or if he's the one that gets to make the decision as to when he wants to pit, whether he wants to pit before or after the other Ferrari. I think they've got a little bit of an unwritten convo there between those two drivers as to when, and it looks like the decision's been made for Sandro to dive in first. Dion, that actually makes sense because Dion is known for running long stints on no matter what set of tires he's on. So the pit window is open for the softs. We see Louis Quinlan coming in behind him, Nick Van Gelder as well. Meanwhile, Andrea Luttrell is still trying to stick with Jensen Randall. He's been able to make up a little bit of time. And things are going to get shuffled around a bit because of the pit sequence. We see Jerma Rusic and Reese March still battling it out now, but this is now the battle for 5th position. Jerma Rusic's got that DRS slot open coming down the Kemmel Straight. Still not close enough, and Colin Higgins picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's currently running in the 13th spot. Meanwhile, Luke Smith and Rennie Vanderstapp still running 14th and 15th, respectively, all the way in the back. And now we've got a battle here. It's a 3-car battle coming out of the pits, man. This is Robin Herderstagen getting called out by the fresher tires. That's Louis Quinlan managed to jump. So he leapfrogs Sandro Julius in the pits, but Sandro's got the medium tires versus Louis on the hards. And I will display the tire information here. We'll see who's got what going after some of these stops. And a 3-second time penalty for Reese March. And the big loser in that pit sequence was Nick Van Gelder, and he's actually being held up by Robin Herderstagen at this point. Now, Herderstagen's not a lap car. It's still a battle for position, so Herderstagen's got the ability to stand his ground. And Van Gelder's going to get to the inside of Herderstagen and makes that move. Meanwhile, we got some guys in the pits now. Andrea Latrella, Jensen Randall. Looks like Jensen's going to get out in front of Andrea. They both pitted at the same time. No try for the undercut or overcut here as these guys come out. And this is Reese March. Reese March under power. It sounds like Reese has got the old Codemasters rev limiter glitch going on. Oh yeah, that's not annoying. Thanks, Codemasters. Meanwhile, I've got Jorge Korea battling it out as he's going to get around Robin Herderstagen, try and close that gap. Nick Van Gelder is all over Dion Stahl. Dion just came out of the pits on a fresh set of mediums. Looks like the only driver who's yet to make a pit stop from the opening get-go has been Reese March. Big lockups there from Dion Stahl and Nick Van Gelder. We've got our good buddy Zunski on the live chat expressing his displeasure with the rev limiter glitch as well. So there we see most of these guys have switched over to medium tires. Now Jorge Korea has got 5 laps on those old hards. He had to make a pit stop after the couple of opening laps to switch over to a new front wing. Looks like we've got Colin Higgins has pitted for a fresh set of softs. Luke Smith has pitted for a fresh set of softs. I'm sorry, Higgins pitted for hards. Luke Smith has pitted for a fresh set of softs. I'm not sure what Luke's game plan at this point is maybe just to run the fastest lap. So it looks like Reese March is finally going to make the pit stop. And Sandra still trying to catch Louis Quinlan. He's got the DRS advantage on this one. He's going to blow by Louis Quinlan down the Kemmel Straight. The easy pass for Sandro, but Louis is right there now. Now Louis finds himself the meat in the middle of a Ferrari sandwich. Dion Stahl behind him. Good four-car battle going on here for the fourth spot. Meanwhile, Andrea Latrella has lost a huge chunk of time coming out of the pits. Has not been able to hang tough with Jensen. Jensen's been able to pull out to a 2-second gap. Dennis Carenchi's quietly running in third, and that is great for him after coming off of a third-place finish at Hungary. But then you've got this four-car battle. You've got Sandro Dulius being chased by Louis Quinlan. Quinlan being chased by Dion Stahl. And it looks like Nick has maybe had a little bit of an incident. He just lost a huge chunk of time to those guys. So it's a three-car battle going on right now for the fourth spot between Sandro Dulius, Louis Quinlan, and Dion Stahl. And Zudsky wants to know if the Ferraris are actually locking up at every corner, or if it's another Codemasters glitch. And no, that is some hard driving is what that is. Both of those drivers are actually pretty good on their equipment and don't usually wear out tires prematurely. But I will say, you know, Louis Quinlan is a fairly aggressive driver, so when you've got Quinlan in your mirrors or you're chasing him, Quinlan, you kind of got to take up your aggressiveness a notch to either keep up with him or try to hold him off. So that's probably what's going on there. Louis Quinlan, a fairly aggressive driver, so it's definitely going to keep Sandro on his toes. And Dion, I think Dion's probably pretty excited about the run that he's been having today. Dion usually pushes a little harder as he gets closer towards the front. A little bit of a lock up there, as you saw in the right front heading downhill. Rennie Vanderstappen picks up another 3-second time penalty. And you see now there's only a handful of drivers that don't have one. Dennis Carenchi's does not have a time penalty. Nick Van Gelder surprisingly does not have a time penalty. And Robin Herderstagen does not have a time penalty. So everybody else has one or multiple time penalties, and we will let them be assessed at the end of the race. We don't like to we like to keep them a surprise till the end. We're now halfway through this race, and Dion Stahl just ran real wide coming out of that corner there. He's trying, you can see he's actually pushing a little harder to try and get to Quinlan. And it looks like Sandro's actually pushed a little harder to get away from Quinlan. Other than that, these three cars, everything else is pretty spread out. Now, Andrea has managed to make up a little bit of time on Jensen Randall. He's made up about a half a second. Not sure if Randall had a little bit of an incident a lap or two ago. It was 2-second gap between the leader and second place, and now it's 1.5 seconds. So Dion Stahl to be right along with him. He'll get the DRS advantage, try and close that gap down to Louis Quinlan just a little bit. Things getting spread out a little bit here as we're halfway through this long race now. Dion able to close up under braking. And you got to hand it to Quinlan. He's rocking those hard tires. And another 3-second time penalty for Luke Smith. Right now that's inconsequential as he's currently running in the 15th spot. Another off day for Smith. Smith currently sits third in points, just ahead of Cameron Weston Edwards. 98 points for, 102 points for Luke Smith. Cameron Weston Edwards, 98. Cameron's not in the race today, and it doesn't look like Cam's going to lose any ground to Luke Smith as it stands right now. Rennie Vanderstappen heading back into the pits once again, so he'll be making another pit stop. He was on the soft tires for some reason, but that is all the way back in 14th. And Dion, looks like Dion is actually stalling out. And looks like we've got a move for position here. Now, Jorge Korea just got around Jorma Marushitz for the 9th position. And we've got Danielle Spotty on the live chat, but I don't know what he's saying. But Always good to have you with us. Always good to have fans in the stands. So Jorge Korea moves up into 9th on his comeback here for SRL. Meanwhile, Dion Stahl still trying to find a way around Louis Quinlan. He is now down to half a second. He's getting within striking distance of Louis Quinlan with the help of the DRS down that Kemmel Straight. And Luke Smith with another 3-second time penalty, so... You see Nick Van Gelder in the background. And this is your closest battle on track. This is the battle for the 5th position. Be interesting to see. The guys on the hard tires can run the hards all the way to the end. It'd be interesting to see if the guys on the mediums are going to try and run them all the way to the end, or maybe do a 2-stop strategy and switch over to the softs towards the end of this race. See, Louis Quinlan, he's one of a couple drivers. You've got him. He made the pit stop, switched over to the hards. You got Max Mulder, who's on hards from earlier on. Luke Smith still running around on soft tires. He just pits for more softs. I guess he's trying to do everything he can to make up some time, but not happening. And Dion Stahl, he loses a little bit of ground in Sector 3. I don't know if Quinlan's got his car trimmed out a little bit more. Meanwhile, the battle at the front, Jensen Randall's now been able to pull back out to almost a 2-second lead over Andrea Latrella. Meanwhile, Dennis Carenchis is running all by his lonesome. He's 13 seconds behind second. He's 3 seconds ahead of Sandro Dulius, who's currently running in 4th ahead of this battle. He's about 2.5 second gap over Louis Quinlan. Quinlan being pursued by Dion Stahl. And Dion really trying to hang there with Louis Quinlan. Quinlan's been running really good through Sector 2 and 3, especially on these hard tires. Your Marusha. He's not that slow. He's currently running in the 10th spot. And for what it's worth, we do got a little bit of a battle going on here. This is a battle for the 11th spot. This is Max Mulder trying to find a way around Robin Herderstagen. Herderstagen currently no time penalties. One of 3 drivers who haven't picked up a time penalty. Herderstagen coming off of a 2-race ban. Basically a number of incidences between him and other drivers during qualifying and during the race where he would be ignoring blue flags. None of it was done with malice, just kind of really need Robin to pay a little bit more attention to the cars around him. And you see there, Max Mulder does make the pass on Robin Herderstagen for the 11th spot. Meanwhile, Dion Stahl is the closest he's been in a while. Now he's through Sector 2. Now this is a little bit of a tricky area because he's now close enough to use that slipstream advantage, but he's also going to get some aero wash coming through some of these high-speed corners. And we've got a yellow, oh my goodness, a yellow flag. Virtual safety car, Max Mulder, who just made the pass around Robin Herderstagen. Looks like he's had an incident at, I guess that's the top of Radion or Eau Rouge there at Sector 1. So virtual safety car is out. Dion Stahl trying to stick with Louis Quinlan here. Wait for that to get cleared up. So too bad for Mulder. And it looks like Rennie Vanderstapp, Colin Higgins, and Luke Smith all going to dive into the pits. We're back to green flag racing. And Luke Smith has retired from the session as well. And it looks like Luke is going to pull into the pits and retire. So off day for Luke Smith. Just couldn't get anything going. Possibly should have been the one time he did qualify for a race. That being said, he'll be credited with 15th and a DNF. Dion Stahl still trying to find a way. And it looks like that Andrea Latrella has gone into the pits and switches over to the soft tires. I don't know how that strategy is going to work out. That's going to be... he's still kind of within the window. I don't think he's going to make up 17 seconds to Jensen Randall, but it's worth the effort. Dennis Carenci is now running in the second spot. Meanwhile, Dion Stahl still not close enough to make that move as they head down into the right-left S's. Rennie Vanderstapp with another 3-second time penalty. He is currently running in the 12th spot. Two drivers now do not have a timing penalty. That is Dennis Carenci and Robin Herderstagen. And Dion still trying to hang tough with Louis Quinlan. Meanwhile, Andrea Latrella is looking to make the move on Dennis Carenci. I don't think Dennis is... I don't know what Andrea's strategy was here. I guess he's just throwing dust to the wind and just trying to make something happen. Switch over to the soft tires, try and run him towards the end, see if he can make up some time on Jensen Randall, but getting called out by Dennis Carenci. And I don't think Carenci is really going to want to give up that position too easily. We've seen Carenci in the past. He's taken a few pages out of the Cameron Weston Edwards playbook. And he's going to make that car as wide as possible. And to the inside, Latrella trying to get that power down. Can't quite get there. And while these two are battling it out, you see Sandro Dooley starting to lurk into the background there. 3.5 seconds back. So he's just coming out of the last part of the bus stop chicane onto the front straightaway. And I don't think there's going to be a whole lot Dennis is going to be able to do now. Andrea is going to have the DRS advantage going down the Kemmel Straight, and he's close enough to make that move. And Dennis is going to hang tough, try and hold the position, takes the defensive line away. He's going to make him go around the outside. Surprisingly, Dennis is there, but around the outside. Oh, and he makes contact. Andrea makes contact with Dennis Carenci. And once again, Dennis gets the short end of the stick, trying to hold his position. Now, Dennis doesn't want to... you know, for what it's worth, if Dennis just does what he's doing and stays close enough to Andrea Latrella, timing penalties will be assessed at this the end of this race. So Andrea, even though he's 3.3 seconds ahead, I think he's got multiple infractions. He's just gone purple in Sector 2, but if Dennis sticks with him, Dennis could actually end up in second place on the podium. Meanwhile, Sandro Dooley is starting to lurk in here. He's 2 seconds back from Dennis, so... Meanwhile, this battle rages on between Dion Stahl and Louis Quinlan. And it looks like Latrella just ran the fastest lap of this race. And again, Dion Stahl still trying to find a way around Louis Quinlan as they head down into turn one. A little bit of a lockup on that right front. Get that power down, Dion. And Quinlan so good at getting out of the corner and down this hill. Quinlan's car has got to be trimmed out just a little bit more than Dion's. It's been able to hold him off down the Kemmel Straight, even though Dion's been able to have the DRS. God bless it, I'm dyslexic as hell. DRS advantage. Quinlan again to the inside, going to take it with the defensive line as he snakes his way down this Kemmel Straight. And right here, Dion's able to catch up under braking, but Max Mulder officially leaves the session. And Dion used the slipstream here. He's getting close as we continue to ride along with him, 0.3 of a second back. And it's like it just stalls at that 0.3 of a second. He can catch up under braking just a little bit, get a good run out of this corner, but Quinlan's going to get that power down. You see Quinlan pulls away. Colin Higgins is retired from the session. And it looks like he's done that into the pits as well. So a lot of these guys figure they're not going to be able to muster anything out of this. And look at the traction out of that first corner for Louis Quinlan has been stellar, and that is the gap that Dion Stahl has not been able to make up. Now, this is the closest he's been. Quinlan snaking his way down the straightaway, trying to break up that slipstream, and finally Dion Stahl, after what seems like forever, gets around Louis Quinlan for the 5th position. Can Quinlan get it back? And Reese March and Nick Van Gelder going side by side at the Kemmel Straight. Reese March is going to make that move. Van Gelder drops down to 8th. And a big lock up there from Van Gelder. Now can Van Gelder get it back? Meanwhile, the time continues to drop for Andrea Latrella to Jensen Randall. They're now sitting at 14 seconds. It was 17 seconds a number of laps ago. Maybe Latrella just trying to run the fastest lap of this race, get that bonus point if he can. Watching Nick Van Gelder and Reese March battle it out for the 7th position. And Daniel making a note on the live chat that was questionable defending from Venom. That was Louis Quinlan. Don't know if that was so much as a defense as it was a snake trying to break up that slipstream. If it gets reported by Dion, it will be reviewed by the stewards after the race. And Nick Van Gelder loses the back end of his car. And Dion Stahl just picked up a 3-second time penalty, so time penalties is going to be interesting at the end of this race. You see how close some of these guys are, and a lot of these guys have got multiple time infractions. So I'll say, knowing Louis Quinlan, I do know how aggressive he is. I will say that was probably not a chop block. Definitely a move to try and break up that slipstream, but again, could be reviewed after the race by the stewards. Don't think it was done with any malicious intent. As Quinlan trying to get back to Dion Stahl. And a great run for Team Ferrari, running 4th and 5th. So basically 3 laps to go. Andrea Latrella still 13 seconds back from Jensen Randall. Now let's see here. It looks like Louis has lost a good chunk of time through Sector 2. Dion able to pull that gap out to 1.5 seconds. So good on Dion. So do a little bit of a grid reset here. Jensen Randall running out front all by his lonesome. He's 12.5 seconds in front of Andrea Latrella. Andrea once again finding himself trying to figure out a way to finish in front of Jensen to close that points gap, but it just has not been going his way this latter part of this season. Meanwhile, Dennis Carenchi's great run today for Dennis. He had that crash in qualifying, but he started 3rd. Looks like he's going to come home 3rd. And that'll be 2 podiums in a row for Dennis Carenchi's as he continues to run on this high. Pole position last week in Hungary. Finishes 3rd. He looks like he's going to come home 3rd again today. So great run for Dennis. Sandro Dulius running in 4th. That is his best finish of the season as these laps wind down. Hopefully he can
finish there. Dion Stahl, we saw the battle he had with Louis Quinlan for a number of laps. Finally got in front of him, out in 5th. Quinlan has now lost some pace. He's 2 seconds back. Meanwhile, the battle for 7th still continues. And Sandro just picked up a 3-second time penalty. But here's the battle for 7th. Nick Van Gelder trying to get back to Reese March. We saw Nick lose the back end of his car at turn 1 a lap ago. Lost a huge chunk of time to Reese. But here he is. He's closed that gap back up. Now he is within DRS range. Is there anything Nick can do here on this final lap? And Luke Smith has officially left the session. He retired the car into the pits a number of laps ago. And you see Reese gets a good run coming out of turn 1. And Nick loses about 2/10 coming out of turn 1. He'll have the DRS advantage. He's not going to be nearly close enough to make a move. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall heading into Sector 3, heading towards the bus stop chicane. And Jensen Randall down to the bus stop chicane for one last time. And he is going to come across the win for his 6th win of the season. Jensen Randall once again will pick up Andrea Latrella. Andrea with another podium finish. And he's going to come sliding across the line, crash his car, because that's what he does. Dennis Carenchi's a clean race. That is a well-deserved podium finish there. And now the timing penalties. Dion Stahl, Sandro Dulius. Sandro's going to come across the line. And everybody's going to come plowing into each other. So we'll see what happens here through the timing and scoring. Reese March comes across the line. Nick Van Gelder is going to putz his way across the line. And Nick is going to take 7th spot because of timing penalties. Looks like he might have actually slowed down to try and give that position to Reese, but Reese drops another spot. Yerma Rusic is now 8th. Jorge Korea, can Jorge hold off for the 10th and final points-paying position? Robin Herterstegen yet to cross the line, and it looks like this is going to be a non-issue for Jorge Korea. So Jorge Korea, on his SRL comeback, will pick up a championship point as he finishes 10th. And good clean race for Robin Herterstegen. No penalties, even though he didn't score a point. Robin did what we wanted. And Sandro with driver of the day. I'll accept that. So congratulations to Jensen Randall, once again, his 6th win of the season. Andrea Latrella with another 2nd place finish. And congratulations to Dennis Carenchi. That is 2 podiums in a row for Dennis. So he is probably the most improved driver in the last 2 weeks. That's 2 podiums and a pole position in the last 2 races for Dennis Carenchi. So here are your unofficial results for today's race. Jensen Randall with the win. Andrea Latrella finishing 2nd. Dennis Carenchi's 3rd. Sandro Dulius, who started 7th, works his way to 4th. Louis Quinlan 5th. Dion Stahl is 6th. Nick Van Gelder is 7th. Yerma Rusic is 8th. Reese March is 9th. And Jorge Korea is 10th, rounding out your top 10 points-paying positions. Robin Herterstegen 11th. Rennie Vanderstapp is 12th. And then 13th through 15th are all DNFs. That's Colin Higgins, Max Mulder, and Luke Smith. Guys, this has been round 13 here, season 6 at SRL. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram. And be sure to check us out on the web. The link is in the description below. And next week, we'll be doing the 2.4 hours of Spa for the Intercontinental GT3 Series on Project Cars 2. Be sure to check that out as well. We'll be running the GT3 cars around Spa for 24 hours, quote-unquote 2.4 hours, where Jensen Randall is also the championship points leader in there after 2 rounds. Guys, I'm Kamikaze Fox. This has been SRL. We will see everybody at the next round.